reset. Right, stream should be back up and running now. Let me get the audio included. Right, hope that works now. So fingers crossed that is working fine. So apologies for the fingers crossed everything is up and working now. So it's the entirety of race 1 then. Did no one get to see any of that? That is so unfortunate. I'm really apologetic for that. From what I could tell, it was working on my screen, so...
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, Steve, it did look like it sort of just froze about 40-45 seconds in.
Oh, that's so unfortunate. I'm so sorry. Is it all working? Does it look like everything's working now, or...?
Let's have a look.
I can see on my screen now, like my, where I obviously managed to stream on laptop, it looks like it's all going fine, but obviously I thought it was working in the first race, and then it started doing, having any problems, so big apologies to everyone for missing that one. Welcome back everyone though who was in and unfortunately didn't get to see any of that racing. You missed a big accident. It's all good, cheers. Oh, thank you for that. Right then, well, I don't think I can show the results of the last race, I think.
No, I think because obviously we've had people... Let's have a look.
Yeah, I don't think I can show the results. Well, just a... God, that's so unfortunate.
No, it doesn't look like you got a way of viewing the results, unfortunately.
Well, I will get the results up on my phone so I can show everyone, or not show everyone, but it's a process. This, we're working on it. All right, there'll be a point where there'll be such a production going on behind this that I'll be able to be like, bam, here's some instant replays and. No, I'll dream. All right, but the results of first race and therefore the starting positions for. In first with Joe Turnell behind him, and Joseph Atkinson came home in third for a first podium of the season for him, and I mean it's 3 places better than his best result before that, so for the year so far. Well, yeah. So Phil Garside was unlucky in fourth to come home without a podium, but it's still a very good result for Garside.
Decent points in the bag.
Especially with the, like we've mentioned, there's a few of the top 10 runners in the championship who have unfortunately missed this week. Who, as a result, is just given the opportunity for Ferguson and Turnell to make the most of it and get away a little bit in the standings. You know, Turnell at the moment I think is looking like the real to the defending champion at this point, and he just needs to get a couple results over him. And we'll see that start to drop. I mean, the points difference was 22 points coming into race 1 in the championship, and of course that gap did open slightly with the win for Liam Ferguson, but it could just start coming down again. All it needs is 1 or 2 rounds to go Turnell's way, and it'll just start turning the tide again. So, but it's still early in the championship. Obviously, there are 30 rounds this season, and we are about to get round 11 underway. So it can, there's a lot that can go on in the remaining rounds.
A third of the way through the championship. Unfortunately, we've missed the round 10 due to technical issues. The joys of the modern world, Steve?
It's one of those. I really wish, and I can see that the lobby is about to get going. So round two of the evening is about to get underway. But it's one of those situations where if I had been able to look down and, from my view. 11 of the championship is about to get underway. Let me just make sure because I can see there's my laptop is saying I feel like it's having moments. It's almost like my internet is having a moment currently.
I have the stream up on my phone. I can see it is still live at the moment.
That's something then. We'll have to just keep an eye on that one. So we'll do a run through of the grid for as they get themselves into their positions. Yeah, confirmation though. Going away from the grid to claim first place for claimed first place in round 10 and is therefore starting from first place for round 11. Behind him is Joe Turnell, and behind them obviously Joseph Atkinson and Phil Garside. That was your top 4 for the first race. Behind them will be Michael Dessy and Owen Good. They had a really good battle all the way to the line. We mentioned it was 0.02 of a second separated them over the line, so you know, nothing major. nice and you know, easy-going race between those two. And Scott Morgan was the beneficiary to just did escape the big battle that was going on for 8th place and come home with, in the end, quite a nice, comfortable 8th. But he'll hope for a charge further up the field this time round, I reckon. See if he can get himself into the top 5 positions. Bartolini came home in 9th, with Bradley Thornton rounding out the top 10. Behind them was Asa Beebe and Jordan Clark, and then it was Aidan Raftery, Clement Mousseau, and Andre Freitas in 15th, with Philip Birch in 16th. And then we have the 5 who have made the way up from B Lobby for this second round, which is 17th place starting of Jeremy Bounier, 18th place for Ben Southwood, 19th for Declan Evans, 20th place for Connor Leese, and 21st for Kieran Evans, not related to Declan. See though, who line up for this first, for this second race of the night. First one that everyone gets to watch.
Oh, it's a shame we didn't catch that sooner, but
that's
lessons learned.
Exactly. So this is a 19-lap race, as shown on the top right. 18 racing laps, so plenty of time. So you can see at the back, the last few cars getting into position. Everyone's in position now. Round 11 of the championship is about to get underway. There's a start there. It looked like possibly slightly early mover at the back, and it looked like they did back off immediately, so not the greatest of starts further back in the field. But Liam Ferguson does get the whole shot and get away well to begin this one. Does the same thing as he did last time round. Joe Turnell tucks in behind for a comfortable-ish second place right now. Meanwhile, behind them you can see that Joseph Atkinson and Phil Garside side by side behind them. And Dessy, smoke in the background. I think that was
we've got a car round.
I wanted to say that might have been Kieran Evans. He looks like he's dropped back down the field, as has Raftery. Those two. That was. Further back, you can see there is all bustling in 4 positions, so they make their way down this back straight for the first time. But up at front, you can see it is Garside from Turnell, from Atkinson, Ferguson from Turnell, Atkinson, Garside, Good, Dessy, Barton. Up the inside though for the lead from Joe Turnell as he looks to try and get the position on Liam Ferguson. He cannot afford to let the same thing happen as it did in race 1, which was let Garside get away. Let Ferguson get away.
You're doing what I did in the race that we missed.
Time round. Ferguson immediately trying to get the position straight back, but he's got to be careful because he is under a lot of pressure from Joseph Atkinson. Slightest mistake and that will be 3rd place for our championship leader and defending champion. But up at the front, Joe Turnell made his move early. Away.
Just looking through the order, Steve. Looks like everyone's recovered and has got themselves, like I said, back pointing in the right direction that early. One, but yeah, Kieran Evans and Aidan Rafferty a long way back now.
Yeah, those two definitely were the ones involved. I wonder if there's any damage for either of them, because I can see that. Oh, Ferguson for a minute looked like he was. Atkinson's looking to try and get the pair of them in one. Has he managed to make that one stick? I think he has. Atkinson spotted a chance and he's gone straight to the front. The three of them now, three abreast as they come across the start-finish line. Who's going to have into turn one? Inside line for Turnell. Atkinson's in the middle of this one. Ferguson with a massive switchback takes it from the pair of them. Garside takes third. Great pairing. Good looked like he got himself into fourth place, but him and Desi are still fighting in a way. But Liam Ferguson, what a move that was to take first place back off them.
Just looking down the order. Any battles that are really going on. Decent battle going on towards the bottom half, sort of around where the relegation zone is. I've been noticing a few positions switching around there. I must say, of the promoted. Oh, big car, big smash at the background. Somebody's gone off. I was about to say, I think, yeah, it was the driver. I was about to say, Ben Southwood's just gone off in a big way, and I think that's him done.
He's straight out of the race. Just saw his name. Yeah, there he goes. So that's really unfortunate for Ben Southwood. Finds himself out of this one. So that's a complete no score for him now. Trying to see if there's any damage on any of those that are around where he was. Just a quick note, actually. I've just noticed well, he started in the top 10, if I remember right. He was about 10th. Finds himself down here in 17th place. So that's not been the greatest of first few laps for Clark. Finds himself amongst the battle of those 4 relegation spots. Just a reminder, the bottom 5, not just finished, the bottom 5 from race 1 do drop down for race 2, drop down for race 3, sorry. So at the moment that would be Clark, Evans, Raftery, and of course the unfortunate Ben Southwood, who is well to add to that one. I'll have to check out the front though, because I can see that side by side, or at least extremely close, between Turnell and Ferguson as they make their way towards the end of the lap. I think Turnell's got a for this one, and behind them you can see it is side by side between Garside and Atkinson. Desi is looking like he's just going to watch this one unfold, and behind them Owen Good looks like Turnell and Ferguson though look like they're going to be fighting away for this one. So it was a top 4 battle last race, and it's a 6-way scrap for the lead. But going to have to keep an eye on them. As you can see in the background, there looks to be some more packs forming and some gaps opening up between some of the pairs, or some of the cars, sorry.
Just looking at a really good battle here, Steve. Jeremy Bunier and Philip Birch just been side by side for the last half a lap now. Connolly's is just sitting there waiting in case something does go wrong with these two.
A bit of side by side contact between the pair. Nearly 3 wide behind him there as well. Declan Evans looks like he's trying to get involved. He's going to go around the outside of Clark.
Oh, they've come together.
Oh, they've
that
just
was
come together.
Philip Birch.
Did he manage to stay out of that one, or did he get involved? That camera angle didn't quite show it clearly. You just suddenly saw one of the cars almost rotated.
I think he definitely was in the middle of those two drivers. But what that does do, put Declan Evans through up into 14th, well, briefly 14th, back down to 15th now.
And he batters away with Jordan Clark for some good points for Evans up there. He's got the inside now into the left-hander. Clark goes to chop the nose off, and Evans hangs it in. Yeah, he's giving him the space there as the pair of them make their way down the back straight. Or shortly will be into the left-right. Still side by side. Is Clark going to concede the position? No, he's going to try and hold it. He's going to have the inside line for the right-hander, but that will give Evans the inside for the long left final corner. Clark a little bit late on the brakes there as they make their way into the first part, and Evans is still there. Got to leave him the space. Still side by side between the pair at 14th.
Oh, it's almost a drag race. Oh, we've just lost another driver. Kieran Evans has just...
Kieran Evans just had a disconnect down. So that's now unfortunate for him. That's another 0-point score for him, which does mean that first place in B lobby, obviously we can't see that right now, but first place in B lobby will be scoring the points for 20th position, because that's the next place where the points will be available, unless more happens. But back up in front, it has been missed whilst we were watching the fight further back. Championship leader has found himself in second place now, as Joe Turnell's retaken the lead of the race.
Here, Ferguson, he's really looking racy here, but we know he's patient. Is he just going to settle behind, just bide his time on Joe Turnell?
Well, I was about to say we're used to him just slotting in behind and waiting until probably the last couple laps behind, and it not just being a two-car fight, because he immediately was looking to the inside line there in that final corner. But here we go. He's up the back of Turnell into turn one. I think a bit wide, so it could provide an opportunity for Ferguson. No, he's just going to have to slot in behind as Turnell reclaims the apex. Garside a bit wide there in the background. He's going to find himself under a bit of pressure now from Joseph Atkinson, who himself is under pressure from... See Ferguson, he's shown himself in the mirrors of Turnell quite a lot. I think this is quite an aggressive drive here from Ferguson comparative to the usual. And as I say it, up the inside he goes into the left-hander for the... And yeah, Turnell's going to have to concede and just slot back in behind. This is a different side to Liam Ferguson that we're used to. We're used to the, as you say, the wait behind and give it a few and maybe get the position in the last couple of laps, and a big slide there from Ferguson, and that's provided the pair go. The championship fight looks like it's starting to rage on track.
Bill Garside's though, he's sitting there, he's waiting, he's biding his time. He knows he can stick his car up the inside if he wants to.
Oh, late on the brakes from Turnell to get himself alongside, and he's going to reclaim the lead into turn two. Great there.
Up the inside goes Garside. Oh, just backs out of it. Out wide Ferguson.
Oh, Ferguson, I wouldn't be surprised if Ferguson is, you know... So I'd say, mate, leave me alone. We're on the same team. We're supposed to be part of the same stable, but, you know, there's no team orders between these lot. The only thing they sometimes do is work together a little bit, but Joe Turnell, who, by the way, has spent the last few races with his fellow Echo Motorsport group around him, almost helping him, he finds himself on his own here with none of the, with kind of the front runners of Echo not here. So it's kind of leaving him to on his own accord to try and do what he can on his own. He's, you know, defending champion. He's won 4 of the last 5 championships, I think, if I've got my maths right on that one. And he's not a slouch. He's not someone who's going to give up easy. And Joe Turnell coming for that championship, and he's putting up a really good showing here. Garside, though, as you can see him just slotted in third, waiting for his moment to possibly strike.
Just been that
kind of want to look at the back, but I know the second I switch away from this 6-car fight for the lead, something will happen up here, and kind of don't want to risk it.
I was just going to say, I've just switched to the battle. Jordan Clark, Declan Evans, Connor Lease. They're having a right old proper scrap, these 3 at the moment. But they're free to do so, because there's no risk at the moment of relegation in these positions. But Philip Birch is lurking not too far behind. Whilst they might be having fun, bear in mind, Birch is in the drop zone positions at the moment. He catches, and these guys could be in danger.
Yeah, just looking at the timing screen down on the left, you can see Philip Birch and Jeremy Bounier. They are 17th and 18th, which is the but they are on, you know, they're together, coming up and trying to get back with the trio of Clark, Lease and Declan Evans. So, you know, if they find themselves in that, Turnell's got half a second on Liam Ferguson right now, so that gap is opening as good. Looks like he's going to be the one to try and make a move on this top 6 as he gets alongside Michael Desi as they make the way into the left-right quick chicane. Taken that spot, finds himself in 5th, and now he's going to try and chase down, well, potential podium finish for good. Moves
keeping
being
on a
made,
battle
I
back.
think Joe inside the car side, but wasn't to be had as there's move made in 7th as Scott Morgan gets a position on Anthony Bartolini.
Just looking at this battle towards the back, Steve, and up the inside. Just looking on Declan Evans, but I think Evans is just about held on there. But now this is a 5-car train.
Yeah, you are right. That 5-car battle now. Bottom 2 of this will drop to B lobby for the last race of the evening. None of these lot. They want to be in A lobby. They want the chance of, they want the chance of the win. Let's be real, and that's where you're going to get that in A lobby. You get a chance, and with the way that race 3 goes, with its the potential. Oh, yeah, big wide there for Lisa's. They're nearly 4 wide here as Philip Birch manages to gain 3 positions in 2 corners. Philip Birch now finds himself in 14th place. Clark drops to 16th. Bunier up to 16th now, and these 5. Lise for a second looked up the inside. Look at the tighter line that he's taken in that MG. On the attack, hoping to get the move. But it's not to be had this time round.
Moment there, it looked like Ferguson got really close to Turnell, and he's just suddenly. What is he? No, he's caught right back up. The top 3 have bunched right back up again. Yeah, I was about to mention, I've just seen it on the timing, and I wanted to kind of check it before saying so, but Garside goes to make a move on Ferguson. Surely he's not going to do that one. He has. He's got Garside up to 2nd. Garside wants this win. I was going to say that this top 3 have actually escaped Atkinson, Desi, and Good now. I think there was something going on. I think Atkinson had a moment, and I can't really say that. He's managed to keep hold of 4th, and I think they've just slightly started spreading out. I think Turnell's put the power down, and these 3 have just managed to stick together whilst the rest just started dropping off. But Ferguson now finds himself in 3rd. Phil Carter win, which would be his first win in the season, by the way. And Joe Turnell is finding himself now under pressure from a different driver, someone he hasn't really fought this season much. Just keeping an eye on Joseph Atkinson, just seemed to pull away. He looks like he's catching this top 3 pack now, so this could become back to a 4-car train.
Yeah, we could see a repeat of race 1, where these 4 found themselves just battling away with the laps running down.
Tell you what, Atkinson really is on a mission here. He's really caught up this last lap.
Yeah, Atkinson. I can't even say that the 3 in front are battling away, and that's what's given him the opportunity, because they are time, but they haven't really made any moves on each other. As I say it, bit of a run wide there from Turnell. That's a potential Garside-sized hole opened up.
No, it's a Liam Ferguson-sized hole.
Has he managed to get the pair of them? He's alongside Turnell. Garside makes it 3 wide on exit. Surely the 3 of them are going to rate. They're side by side as they make their way towards the start-finish line as we look to start lap 16 of 19. Who is leading across the line? It is still Joe Turnell. It's Garside now around the outside. Liam Ferguson is just going to settle for 2nd for the moment. He's going to slot into 3rd. No, these 2. There's no love lost between the pair in the same team.
Joseph Atkinson's looking though. He's not giving up on this.
Yeah, and he's bringing Desi and Good in as well, as they're looking at this fight going on. This is an opportunity for some really good points here for all of them, and these opportunities don't come about massively often, and Ferguson and Garside just side by side through this entire lap. Atkinson's waiting for his moment as well as they make their way into left-right chicane. A little bit of contact there from Garside and Ferguson. Turnell's just watching this in his mirrors and thinking, am I safe? Am I going to get caught in something? As Atkinson gains 2 positions, then Garside drops down, Ferguson takes a couple positions, then it all moves around in that final corner. It's so different lines going on. For a second, Atkinson found himself in 2nd place.
He's now down in 4th.
It just changes so quickly, the different lines they've been taking. And look at the pair though, Good and Desi. They're on the back of this as well. It's returned to a 6-car fight. Oh, a little bit of contact there from, I think that was Good on Atkinson, which then proceeded to have a little tap on the back of Garside. Up at the front though, you can see Ferguson is showing himself into Turnell's mirrors.
Garside he's definitely dropped off those. Oh no. Would you say they've dropped off, Steve? I wouldn't say so. Not the way it was going good to go side by side there with Joseph Atkinson.
Well, for a second there, I thought Atkinson was just turning in and taking the position, but I think Good did actually back off slightly. He didn't want to risk an accident through one of the fastest parts of the circuit. As you can see up at the front, for a second there, Turnell looked like he had left a gap up the inside, but it wasn't to be had for Ferguson.
For a moment I thought Atkinson got up the inside of Garside as well.
Look at the speed that Turnell switches to the left-hand side of the track. He's trying to cut down on the slipstream as quick as he can. He's trying to break that toe. At the back of the grid, though, just noticed, that Aidan Raftery's found himself on the back of that battle for 14th, and he's now taken 18th place off of Declan Evans, who now finds himself at the back of the runners.
He was quite some distance behind as well.
Yeah, that fight going on between from Philip Birch back looks like it's just bringing some more people in. As you can see, though, we're on the penultimate lap. Really defensive left-hand side for Joe Turnell. Ferguson tucked in behind. This is going to
be a very defensive lap now coming up. He's got to park this car everywhere where it needs to be.
He's just going to have the problem through this final corner, I think. It looks like Ferguson for a second set up for a massive switchback. I think it got covered off nicely. As he managed to get a nose alongside, I think he's... Oh, I think there was a little bit of a squirrely move there from Turnell. I think he's managed to keep on it. Yeah, look at him trying to break that toe. He does not want to give Ferguson the chance. He's going to have to be careful into turn one, though. Oh, across the nose he goes, and still owing on to first place. Second place, Liam Ferguson. He's got to be careful. Garside's tucked in behind him with Joseph Atkinson as well. Owen Good in 5th place. He's looking to get involved if he can as well. It's one mistake on this lap, and it'll be at least a position dropped for whoever makes it. Oh, a tap there on Garside. I don't know if you got a tap from behind him, but you definitely tapped the back of Ferguson. Very defensive. We go. We can see very defensive inside line. Garside has no interest in that slipstream and takes the racing line immediately on the right-hand side. He looks like he may have done enough so far as Turnell. Not the best run through the left-hander of the S's there. Ferguson tucked in behind. Defensive inside line there from Turnell. Is it going to upset his exit onto the final straight? Through the final corner we go. I think he's done enough. Garside's dropped back 2 positions. Atkinson's possibly going to try and steal second place across the line. Joe Turnell's going to take the win this one. And Ferguson does come home in second place. Joseph Atkinson in 3rd. Owen Good in the end comes 4th. 5th place for Phil Garside. 6th place Michael Dessy. 7th place for Scott Morgan. 8th is Anthony Bartolini. 9th for Bradley Thornton. The rest come through. You can see really unfortunate for the... I mean, it's so close. Look at those. 22-1, 1 for Birch, 24-3 for Bounier, and... for Clark. 21-4 for Lease. They managed to just keep themselves in A lobby. Unfortunate dropping down for those behind them. We'll get the positions up shortly, but confirmation though of the win for Joe Turnell. Here we go. So Joe Turnell from Liam Ferguson and Joseph Atkinson came home in 3rd place. Really good scrap between those lot up there. Owen Good came home in 4th place, just stealing it from Phil Garside on the final corner. I think Garside made a slight mistake into that final corner, and it just opened the door for a couple of positions. You can see further back then, Dessy in 6th, Morgan, Bartolini, Thornton, and then Freitas rounds out the top 10. Behind him was Mark Guest from Issa-Beeb. Clement Marceau came home in 13th place. Philip Birch, 14th, 15th for Jordan Clark, 16th for Connolise. And then, yeah, the three dropping down of Jeremy Bounier, Aidan Raftery, who did well to recover to 18th after that first lap incident, wasn't it? And Declan Evans in 19th, and then unfortunate no points for Ben Southwood and Kieran Evans in 20th and 21st, which means, of course, that first place in B lobby, as mentioned before, will be getting the points for 20th, second place 21st, and so on and so forth. So, catch your breath.
Now the patient wait to find out who we gain from B lobby.
One, who we gain, but also it must be mentioned that the race 3, for those who aren't familiar. Race 3 starting positions is the results of race 2 with the randomly drawn pole position for between 6th and 12th. So to put that into context, if the number 6 is drawn, then Michael Dessy, who finished 6th, will be starting on pole. Phil Garside will be 2nd. Owen Good will be 3rd. Joseph Atkinson 4th. Liam Ferguson 5th. And Joe Turnell 6th. So if it is 6th that is drawn, then that front 6 will stay as, we'll just have a little swap and have Michael Dessy starting from pole. However, if 12th is drawn, that puts Asa Beebe, who finished down in 12th place, on pole, and everyone who finished ahead of him reversed. So it'll be Mark Guest behind him, Freitas, etc. We thought race 2 was manic. I hope you're ready for race 3. And I know I am. I think I might need to... I'm going to have a sip of water in a second, because I feel like that's going to be death to my throat.
I believe we've had 4 drivers that have just joined us, Steve, coming up into the lobby. Matt Dryden, Matt Carter.
Matt Carter, wow.
We've also gained, looking at that, Richard Carnwell and... where's the name on the list? Liam Buckley. We're 1 short so far.
1 short, so I have to wait and see who comes up. Here we go. So, just waiting, just getting the results of race 2 coming in as the random draw is done, and it's as if I asked for it. 12th place gets pole position for race 3.
I can now confirm our final driver. And is that a first time A-Lobby appearance, or have we seen him? No, it is a returning driver from race 1. Just got to find my list. It is Jean-Marie Dennis.
We probably butchered it, and to those watching, apologies.
I'm confident with the Jean-Marie bit. It's the
Denez.
Is it Denez? Is it Den?
Is it Deans? I want to say
Denay?
Denez. Oh, Denay. Oh. Give us a response in the comments.
I must say, I didn't do French at GCSE. I chose Spanish instead.
I didn't have the option for Spanish.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, my school had French or German.
We were French or Spanish.
Yes,
Although
you
I must say,
Spanish.
the German language, definitely would like to learn it. Such an aggressively passionate language.
That is... I mean, it depends who's speaking it, but for the most part, yeah, you're right.
Oh.
Well, just to double check, I hope everyone enjoyed race 2, and I hope that the stream is still running fine. I haven't seen any problems from my end, so fingers crossed.
Let me just check from my end. Yeah, the stream is still up for me, is it? Yeah, it still shows as being up for me. Yep, I can confirm it is still up.
Perfect, so there it goes though. The full 12 reverse will be there for the final race of the night. If you thought race 2 was manic, get ready for the full change for the final round of the night. Hope everyone sticks around for that one.
I don't know about you, Steve, but I definitely do feel like a glass of water is needed.
I think a singular glass of water might not be enough for how this race might end up. I feel like I might need to...
I'll go turn the garden hose on.
Yeah, I think I might need to go and get myself my aspirin inhaler ready, just in case. Yeah, good. Thank you, Fastbird. Appreciate that, mate. Glad it's working now. Apologies that race 1 didn't. So yeah, we'll just be having a short break now as we get everyone in for the final round of the night. I hope everyone has enjoyed the night so far. I know it's been reduced slightly by the errors. I'll say errors in race 1, but I think I've enjoyed the racing so far, which is always a good sign. I believe you have as well, Connor, but I know I've just kind of jumped in and assumed without asking.
I've just returned with a glass of water. I think this is definitely going to be needed.
So, do we have a guess? Do we have and I'll open this up to not only you, Connor, but if anyone in the chat wants to get involved as well. Who do we think is going to be the one to watch for race 3 then? Now, as a reminder, 12th place, Ace Abib, will be starting from pole with Mark Guest behind him. Not that that sways anything in any way, but you never know.
Ooh, now you've really thrown the cat amongst the pigeons, haven't you, Steve?
Well, it wasn't me who drew 12 out of the hat, alright? But yes, I have.
Ooh. Now this is a tricky one.
Where's your mind going? What's your instinct?
Oh, I want to say Phil Garside.
Okay, yeah. Not disagreeing. I'm just listening. You think Phil Garside's your choice?
Yeah, I mean we've seen he's got a lot of speed in his Astra. We know that, Obviously, the race that unfortunately we wasn't able to stream. He was very quick in that race. He's been very quick, obviously, in the second race that we have been able to capture. I just get that feeling he's starting ahead of the main people he's been battling with throughout most of the night.
Mm-hmm.
He's got less cars to overtake. He's going to be hungry for that win.
I think it could go one of two ways for me. He's either going to have I'm not having that happen again, because he was so close to a win in that race. He looked at one point like he had the pace on the two ahead of him. He for a minute had second place. He looked like he was going to get Joe Turnell, and then out of nowhere he looked like I don't know if he made a mistake. It didn't quite catch it on from what I could tell. And then he just found himself in 5th. He lost 2 places, and I wonder if he's either going to go for the not having that happen again and try and just get to the front early and do a Joe Turnell or Liam Ferguson and just get away, and if he tries that, I feel like it could be a much worse finish to the race for him. But he could also actually pull it off, because let's be frank here. The people that are starting ahead of them, the 12th, the 11th, the starting pole, the first 3-4 positions, they've looked nowhere near pace-wise on those with the front 6 tonight. So it's how quick those 6 can get through is going to play a big part. And Garside is one who, unlike Liam Ferguson, who will quite often wait for an opportunity, Garside is one who, if an opportunity arrives, he'll take it.
I'd say you'd describe him as more of a Jason Plato. Would you say? There's a half a gap.
I don't want to insinuate that he's someone who will push people out of the way. It's not what I'm saying. That Plato does
that's not what I'm saying either. No,
but just in case, because I know sometimes Plato has that reputation for being there's possibly a gap here, let's make one to be safe. Garside's got that very much, if if you are not covering the inside,
I will stick my nose in
he
there.
will be on the inside. If the chance opens up, he will take it. He won't do a Liam Ferguson and sit there and read your lines for a couple laps and wait to think, play the long game.
Where is he leaving the door?
Where's he looking slow? Exactly. Where is that opportunity going to hit? He will be following you, and then you will make the slightest error. You'll leave that inside line open, and it becomes a Garside shaped hole, and he will be there. So he's one to keep an eye on this race. I feel like he could get through the pack quicker than some of the others, but he also leaves himself more open to getting caught up in the sort of things that we've seen happen in the first couple rounds. The car getting spun, the spat into the wall, that kind of thing. He's the one who generally can find himself more open to that problem.
What I have seen is he seems to have he seems to be a lot more adventurous with trying different lines at the final corner.
Absolutely. Yeah, cannot disagree with that at all.
We've seen him go aggressive in the final corner. We've seen him run sort of very deep, but then get the slingshot exit, which just gives him that little edge over the straights, which I think, obviously, if it becomes a drag race to the line, will be key.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in the issue he's going to find is that by doing that, he's open to those behind taking his line from him that he wants to take. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not discounting that at all. It's going to be interesting to see what he does. I think it's... we're just going to have to wait and see. This is where the talking stops and the action on track shows us what's going to happen, really, isn't it? I'd love to sit here and say it's going to be calm, they're going to all drive nicely and show each other space, but we could be looking at a 12-13 car train for laps and laps and laps of this one. It's very open to this being a race of non-stop overtakes after overtakes. And starting us all off up at the front, Ace Abib starting from pole position, and behind him is Mark Guest in the fellow Ford CQR Ford, but this one the IKEA sponsored one. Behind them is a driver who we haven't had much of a chance to speak about tonight, in Andre Freitas. Starting from third, could be an interesting one. Bradley Thornton in fourth place. Behind them, Anthony Bartolini in fifth. Scott Morgan is the one in sixth. Then you're hitting the front six from the first two races in Michael Desi, Phil Garside, Owen Good, Joseph Atkinson, Liam Ferguson, and of course race two's winner, Joe Turnell. And then getting further back, it's Phil Marceau, Philip Birch, who showed some good pace at the back of the pack to get himself from like 18th to 14th in a few corners. Let's be frank. Good drive from Birch to get to there. Jordan Clark in 15th place. Connor Lease 16th. 17th coming back up is Richard Candwell. Mine's gone blank. Richard.
I'm just checking.
Carnwell, not Card. Sorry, my apologies. Richard Carnwell. Dan Dryden appearing in 18th. Don't count him out. 19th for Liam Buckley. Matt Carter with his first showing in A-Lobby this season, I think. That's not something to understate. No, apologies. He has had a couple of showings in A-Lobby in the first round. So return to A-Lobby for Matt Carter. And then, as mentioned before, Jean-Marie Denez down in 21st. Now, this could be non-stop, lights to flag, action. As you can see at the back, some cars just making their way into the correct grid spots. I saw one crossover, so he clearly was on the wrong side.
Either that or some very interesting way to warm your tyres up.
If it works, it works. But I'm going to start this one on board, or keeping the camera fixed on Mark Guest, so we get the view of the entire grid. But I think everyone is in position. Round 3 of the night is about to get underway. Here we go then, round 12 of the championship is underway, and that is a mega start from Mark Guest. He has absolutely made the whole shot on this one. He's got the inside line for turn 1. He's going to take the lead, and, I mean, comfortably takes the lead into turn 1. So it's Guest from B. Freitas, Brad Thornton in 4th place, Bartolini 5th. Is there any bad starts up and down the grid? I think everyone's managed to get away well.
One dropping down the order, Joe Turnell down to 14th.
Oh, not the greatest start from Turnell, no, correct. So that is a good start behind him for, I think that's Birch, and Clement Marceau finds himself up in 11th place. So good from them. Desi first off the quick 6, shall we say, finds himself in 6th place at the moment. Other than that, everyone looks like they've got away quite nicely. The CQR pair of Guest and Beebe look like they're trying to do the escape tactic early and let everyone battle around behind them. So Bartolini and Freitas will be battling around for 3rd and 4th as these pair look to try and get away early, but it is finishing the first lap. Mark Guest in 1st place from Asa Beebe. You can see everyone just scrapping away in the background. Bit of a wide line there for Dan Dryden, but he's managed to keep that one going. Didn't find himself in a wall. So we see a gap starting to open up a little bit between 2nd and 3rd here. Well, it's between 2nd and 3rd here. It's about 8/10 of a second between Beebe and Bartolini. So though, good starts up and down the grid. I think, yeah, the only potential dodgy one was that for Joe Turnell, but he finds himself now 13th, so only 1 net position loss. As there is some fighting going on there between, I think that was Lynn Ferguson and Scott Morgan. Things to have settled down those. I make the way into the left hand and see Joe Turnell looking to try and make a move in the background. I think that was on Owen Good, and a big slide there from Turnell as he's on the outside. I think I saw, I couldn't quite see, I think that was possibly Good who got a bit sideways then on the curb, but I think he's managed to settle that one down, as we can see though, making his quick moves. I thought it was going to be Garslide going through quick, but no, it looks like it's going to be Michael Desi who finds himself side by side for 4th place as they make the way into turn 1 for lap 4 of the race.
I'm just keeping an eye here. Joseph Atkinson's also on a flying move so far, up to 6th place at the moment, and he's...
a bit of contact there, I think, as Atkinson for a second thought there was a gap, but it got closed quite quickly there by Thornton, and Atkinson had to let off the throttle and finds himself dropping down the order to 9th place for a second as, you know, these lot are all so bunched up together. Contact to the background as they go 4 wide. I think they managed to keep that one safe. I think that was Freitas on the outside of the corner there.
Yeah, so they sort of just ran a bit wide, and I think Garside was also running wide as well, but it's Ferguson and Garside side by side now.
Switch to that one quickly as see Ferguson has made that stick. Look at everyone moving around behind. I think that was a big moment there for one of the Fords. Looked like they were having a real slide on then. I think that might have been Atkinson. He's managed to hold that one.
And he's just gone up the inside of Garside.
Oh, apologies, not Atkinson. I think it was Scott Morgan I saw actually in the background, looking like he was getting a bit squirrely, but they've managed to all get through safely.
Just looking at top 3 are sort of now have broken away. It is Michael Desi just sort of acting like a cork in the bottle now.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because I know that Desi, he was battling alongside with Thornton for a while, and I think now he's got in front. He just needs to settle into his rhythm and just try and catch up with those in front if he wants to challenge for a top 3. As you can see, a bit of a mistake there from Bartolini in front, so he could leave himself open.
Just running a little bit wide there was Scott Morgan just as he came onto the straight.
Definitely not going to help his run through this straight. And now thirdly Thornton, I think he's looking at the 3 ahead and going, come on, Desi, if you're not going to go, let me through and let me chase him down. But I mean, it must be noted that Desi is part of the CQR stable, so I wonder if there's a little bit of gamesmanship and just letting his front 2 get away quickly. Let Guest and Beebe get some clarity before making it stick. Meanwhile, though, you can see Liam Ferguson is alongside Atkinson down the home straight. For a second, looks like he may have been showing himself in the moves of Bradley Thornton, who gets a real slide on into turn 1. I think Ferguson had to get off the throttle for a second then as they let Atkinson through.
Just looking at Bartolini in 3rd, just doesn't seem to have the pace of the 2 CQR cars out in front of him.
No, he does seem to be falling into the clutches of this fight for 5th, really, in the process. Well, no, sorry, the fight for 4th, because He's closer now to Desi than he was to Beeb, so he could find himself, like you say, just in a little bit of trouble. But these four, though, they're looking like they're going to start scrapping away. I think Thornton, and as Thornton makes his way to the front of this pack.
It's Atkinson. It's Atkinson.
Atkinson, sorry, that was a very quick swap. Apologies. Yeah, Atkinson makes his way to the front. Thornton for a second showed up on my ticker, is it? And then, yeah, Desi has got the outside into turn 1, which becomes the inside for turn 2 if he can keep it around the outside. Has he managed to keep that one? No, he's going to have to settle for slightly behind as Bradley Thornton looks to try and make a move around the back. Wow, a bit loose there from Thornton. He's managed to hold that one. Ferguson definitely have to let off the throttle because he was tucked in behind all that. Atkinson a little bit wide on exit
Ferguson. Bit of a panel bashing there.
Yeah, then not treating each other like the teammates we know they are back there. I think Garside for a minute is just wanting to show that, you know, it's not all about Ferguson. Ferguson is the one that gets all the conversation when it comes to, you know, the FSR team, and, you know, to an extent rightly so. He's the one who's won the championships, but Garside's not a slouch. He's got the pace, and I think he's trying to show it tonight.
3 wide there, though, Steve. 3 wide. It's Atkinson who's got to the head for the moment of this pack, and he has. Atkinson now then. He's got the front of this pack. Is he going to start dragging them up to Anthony Bartolini in 3rd place? And let's start trying to make some inroads to the battle for the lead, really, because right now you can see Mark Guest getting away nicely in 1st place, and Asa B was going with him, so Bartolini right now is just in a little bit of no man's land. Don't get me wrong, it's extremely good from Bartolini so far to be holding on to what would be a really good scoring of 3rd place, but just got to be a little bit careful. This is exactly, though, what the CQR pairing of Mark Guest and Asa B want. They want these guys battling, not making any inroads, not just into them, but just into Bartolini, because they have to get past him as well.
Yeah, the more
they even consider attacking them.
Yeah, absolutely. The more that the delay can be caused on these lots. Oh, for a second, yeah, Atkinson did get a bit of attack.
Atkinson.
Has he managed to save that one? Oh, he has.
He has, but it's cost him time.
It has. I think he tried. I don't want to speak out of turn, but it looked for a second like Desi went to go up the inside of him, and Atkinson slightly cut the nose off. And I don't think Desi had right to the corner, but I think it was just over the curbing slightly that Atkinson might have got the tap, and so it just was completely unsettled. He's done really well to get it back, and I think has Desi let off slightly to get him back in. Possibly. Hard to tell from the way that's going, but that's.
They'll have Garside through and Ferguson.
Yeah, that is the danger that they've created here. Is Garside and Ferguson are now properly involved in this. These 6 cars,
Morgan's here.
Scott Morgan's getting involved, and just behind them, just slowly creeping up, as back to the front of the pack goes Joseph Atkinson. Just slowly creeping up, though, must be mentioned, is Joe Turner in 10th. Don't rule him out of this if they can. Oh, big slide in the background. I think that was Drew. I think that was Scott Morgan.
It was Scott Morgan, but he's still kept it. He's gone up the inside of Phil Garside.
I have to say, there's been a few hairy moments for those Fords tonight. Had a couple moments where they've just looked unsettled and like they could be spat off at any moment. Still hanging on in there, though, as you can see. Atkinson leading this pack, and they have almost definitely at this point, I mean, there's lap 10 of 19, they're just over halfway through this one. They're on the back now of Bartolini, about 6/10 away from Anthony Bartolini, who himself is nearly 3 seconds back from the lead. So this is perfect for the CQR pair.
And this will be the first win for any CQR driver this season, I believe.
I think you are right in that one. I'll just check whilst we're keeping an eye. Yes, it would be. I think Michael Desi has the best finish so far with a 4th place. But I don't think any of them have even got a podium yet, which is quite incredible when I mention it out loud now. Extremely quick group. Yeah, they haven't even got a podium to their name yet, so gonna just instantly find themselves with 2 if this carries on. Oh, it's Bradley Thornton. Looks like he's got got a lot slightly alongside Atkinson, but he didn't make it enough, and now he's found himself under pressure from Ferguson. Around the outside comes Ferguson on Thornton. He's getting a little bit of hang out to dry there, or is he going to have the space? I think he might have the space, in fact.
I was just going to say, Steve was talking about Phil Garside potentially being out, you know, a chance for the win here. Down to 11th, Joe Turnell got ahead of him, and has only
completely dropped off as Garside. I think we've missed a moment he's had, and it's cost him dearly.
I was keeping an eye on it, Steve. I was keeping an eye on it. He just got a nose up. Well, it was a bit of a decent 3-wide manoeuvre coming out of the turn 1-2 complex. And unfortunately, he came off slightly worse out of a 3-wide mode, but there's still time to get positions. The pack is still tightly bunched. He can still gain positions from here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, these lot are all starting to really bunch up, so it's, you know, one moment and you're gaining. I mean, right now we're looking at the gap from 3rd down to 11th, really. I mean, I say from 3rd, Atkinson is 4th, but you can see Bartolini there just holding on to 3rd place at the moment. About 6/10 back is Atkinson, and I think Bartolini, he's doing well so far. I think he's being held slightly, but he's not battling away, but they're starting to gain in, as you can see under the slipstream, although Liam Ferguson for a second look on Atkinson, but Atkinson shut that door quite nicely, actually. Just drifted across, and never mind, I say that. Bradley Thornton's found a gap, and he's got alongside now Joseph Atkinson. He's making way down the start-finish straight to start lap 13 of the final round of the night. He's got one to the left, he's got one to the right. Joseph Atkinson isn't... It's turned in a little bit there. He's going to have to run wide as he's got the inside line for the left-hander. The gap wasn't quite there for... I mean, these three are just swapping positions every corner, and Scott Morgan wants a piece of this as well, as he sticks his nose up alongside Liam Ferguson, just backs out at the last minute, but Bradley Thornton now finds himself at the front of this pack. Bartolini, I don't know if he'd be enjoying or not enjoying seeing this in his rearview mirror, because he's just seeing a gaggle of cars fighting to chase him down. it would almost be quite daunting to see. Atkinson right up the back of Bradley Thornton. Is he going to make a move into the left-hander? Looks like the space has slightly been left. He's got his nose alongside. Oh, squirrely moment there for Thornton, and that's given the opportunity not only to Atkinson but to Liam Ferguson as well in 5th place.
I mean, Anthony Bartolini must be enjoying the battling he's seen behind, knowing that the pressure's just not on him just yet. It's not quite there.
I think the people that will be enjoying this the most, it must be said, will be Mark Guest and Asa Beebe. Find themselves in a really decent 1st and 2nd. I mean, Mark Guest's start has really painted this picture for him. He's got away nicely, and Beebe's following through, but they're just, all they'll be seeing just out the, you know, probably not even in their mirrors anymore. It's just the 3 seconds back from Beebe is now and under pressure. Anthony Bartolini goes defensive, and Joseph Atkinson goes for a send up the inside. It's not quite there. Round the outside goes Atkinson. Is he going to make his move for the podium? Bartolini leaves the door open on the left and then shuts it immediately and keeps hold of 3rd place. Atkinson, though, gets a tighter inside line and looks like he's going to finally find himself on the podium for this 3rd race. Liam Ferguson now looks to try and get involved in this one, as Bartolini's under a lot of pressure now to just get dumped down the order, and he's just going to bump draft Atkinson into turn 1. Is he going to make a move for it? No, he's just going to slot in behind Ferguson and hope to get a better exit. Now find himself amongst the slipstream, which he's not had really all race.
This will now be the big question, is what can Joseph Atkinson do now that he's at the head of this pack? Can he make any inroads to either Asa Beebe or Mark Guest? He's not got a lot of time to do it.
He's got about 4.5 laps to go. It's under a 3-second gap. He's gonna have to put in just qualifying laps at this point and just nail every corner to get himself with a chance.
I think personally it might be a bridge too far, as Liam Ferguson was looking there at Joseph Atkinson.
Yeah, Ferguson. Thing is, what he's got behind him, and I mean, he's gained nearly 4/10 in that section alone. It was 3 seconds, and then we crossed the line. It was at 2.5 to 2.7. It's not over, but like you say, it's a tall task, and he's got Ferguson and Thornton trying to keep him company and following through.
Catching's one thing, Steve, but getting past, that's a completely different thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it took him, what, 2 laps probably to get past Bartolini? I'd say about 2 laps to get past Bartolini. So, you know, he kind of, if he's going to get to these two, he needs to do it by the penultimate lap, really. So he's got to... And it's not just him, let's not forget Liam Ferguson, who looks like he's going to try and get himself to the front of this pack and be the one to chase down. Ferguson takes 3rd place. Quite, I don't want to say sharply, but a bit of a side-to-side contact between the pair as they make their way onto the final stretch, or onto the home stretch, sorry. Now Ferguson finds himself tucked in 3rd place, but he's now 3 seconds back after, you know, you lose a bit of time in the battle, and it's, you know, does Ferguson fancy his chances to chase down, or is he's wanting 3rd place and is just going to settle for this now?
I think it's going to have to be the latter, Steve. I think that battling's just done enough that if I was Mark Guest and Asa Beebe, I'd be able to breathe a lot more comfortably now.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the only thing they've got to be careful of, though, if they do let their foot off for just a second, these lot have been flying all night, and, you know, you can't afford to settle too much. I mean, I'm saying this, 0.2 is the gap dropping since this lap started, if that now, I think.
That's Atkinson up the inside of Thornton.
Yeah, Atkinson into 4th place again. So, last time round, as the fight at the front actually is starting to heat up, I think for a minute Asa Beebe was having a look at Mark Guest. I have to keep an eye on those two. So last time round, last lap, it was 3 seconds the gap at turn 1 between Liam Ferguson and Asa Beebe. It's now 2.6. It's not enough. This will not be dropping down enough as Atkinson wants 3rd place. They're not going to do enough. Right now, they're not looking like they're going to catch the front two, who I think for a second knew that. And Asa Beebe for a minute looked like he went to have a fight on Mark Guest, but he could be playing the long game up there, so we'll have to switch and keep an eye on that one in a second. Mustn't be forgotten, by the way, and I've just clicked to him. Joe Turnell suddenly appeared in 8th place in this pack. After a poor start, find himself down in 14th. Turnell's recovery drive has found himself up in 8th, and round the outside, Bradley Thornton, are you getting 2 in one corner? Surely you're not going to. No, he's going to give a little tap to Joseph Atkinson. Liam Ferguson's going to take a tighter inside line, and he's going to retake 3rd place. Surely that's what's going to happen now, and amongst all that, you're going to find Scott Morgan looking to try and get involved and find himself in 5th place, and just these lot, it's the final lap of the race, and they are now figuring out, now's our chance, make it count, and here we go then. One more lap of Hakone. Big slide in the background for Joe Turnell as he managed to keep that one going. I think he has, but he's probably lost out a couple positions in the process. He's lost
twitched as well.
A big twitch for Thornton as well. These curbs look like they're uncertain. I think there might have been contact, to be fair, on Turnell, because it's a really weird place to get a slide on. Up at the front, they've barely had much of a look, but Mark Guest has got a comfortable-ish lead here to Asa Beebe, who has just been following him all race. Looks like he's going to settle for it. I mean, we're coming into the final few corners. Asa Beebe, I think this is the closest he's been all race.
Out wide. Oh, brilliant overtake there. Scott Morgan has just gone into 3rd. What a brilliant move. But Joseph Atkinson's got to take it back.
Yeah, the teammates side by side, but up at the front, let's not forget, look at the CQR
Joe
there.
Turnell up
Mark
into
Guest takes the win in race 3. Joseph Atkinson looks like he's going to come home in 3rd. Yes, he does. Comes home in 3rd. So Mark Guest and Asa Beebe comes home 1 and 2. Great drive for the CQR pair. 3rd place to Joseph Atkinson. His teammate comes home in 4th place.
Liam Ferguson down into 10th at the end there.
Whoa, that could
down
be
in 11th.
That could be huge in the standings. Garside and Liam Ferguson, the points he gained on Turnell in race 1, and then the points lost in 2 and 3, the championship fight could really be on between those two. But has that 1st place for Mark Guest put himself now in that championship conversation? have to keep an eye on how the standings look, and be sure to check us out on socials. That is a really interesting finish there, which has given Liam Ferguson a 10th place in the end. He was in 6th. He started the final lap in 4th.
Don't know what happened there.
Close between those lot.
Just noticed towards the end of the race there, it just looked like Garside and Ferguson had got themselves together on the run to the line. Don't know if something happened there.
Something's happened in the final couple of corners, or I'm not sure, but wow. That is, I mean, it's a stunning drive though, and let's not take any credit away from, I mean, the HYR pair of Joseph Atkinson and Scott Morgan. That's some really good team points they've just scored with a 3rd and 4th place. It's a really good finish from the pair. I think that's the first podium in OMA for Joseph Atkinson, if I've make sure with that. So obviously his best finish this season, as mentioned before, was a 6th. Obviously he had a podium race in last race as well, but I think last season, yeah, his best finish was a 4th. So that is, tonight, Joseph Atkinson has managed to, well, double the number of podiums he has in OMA. So congratulations, Atkinson. Really good result for 3rd. But yeah, like you say, what's happened to Ferguson and Garside in that final few corners? I mean, that lap, yeah, incredible racing up and down the grid. Massive, massive credit. I mean, Bartolini coming home in 8th. It's not what he would have wanted after the first, well, what, 17 laps of that race? 16 laps of that race?
He can take pride with how he drove in that, though.
That was, yeah, absolutely stunning drive from Bartolini. I think he deserves a, you know, he's probably going to be kicking himself a little bit that he couldn't keep 3rd place. Oh, Rapalm, no. So, I don't know if you've just seen, but Dazzo has said apparently Fergs ran out of fuel on the last lap.
Oh no!
Oh, no,
that explains.
Thank you, Dazzo, for letting us know. That is immense.
He had a very tight line, I noticed, coming out onto the pit straight, and I did wonder if he was just going defensive, but then obviously to have seen him drop that far down, running out of fuel, that makes sense. That's a tough blow. That is a very uncharacteristic Liam Ferguson mistake to make. To underfuel your car. Wow. Not what I was expecting to hear.
Yeah, Ferguson's just confirmed in a chat he ran out of fuel on the last lap. That's what lost him the positions. That
it's so uncharacteristic for him.
Yeah. The thing is, those kind of mistakes. I mean, this is what we said though. Joe Turner, we thought he wasn't looking it, but wow.
It's wow. Yeah. An uncharacteristic mistake from someone like Liam, and I mean he's cost himself 5 positions with that. I don't know if maybe slipstream has played a part in that. It's well known that when you have a lot of slipstream, obviously your car is revving faster because you're going faster, and therefore you use more fuel. Has he just miscalculated?
I wonder if he's really pushed it to the limits of what he can have fuel-wise. You know, thinking the least amount of fuel possible, he's going to have the better chance of having the pace. You know, because the slightest amount of fuel difference will just it could be 100th, 1,000th on track, and it will make a little bit of difference with the way that it was going today. But that could be something at the end of the season.
I just wonder, Steve, has he thought maybe he could get through the pack a bit quicker than what he did and not have as much in the way of slipstream?
I think I'm gonna have to look it back. CQR Dazo, great stream, guys. See you same time next week. Yeah, absolutely. So next week, make sure I believe because we did have a revamped. Next week, April 21st, Yas Marina full for some night racing. That's going to be something. Long straight, technical corners, bit of everything. Cannot wait to see it. Cannot wait for that. And then we'll be then a week later going to Kyalami. So a bit of a couple technical tracks coming up, which is going to be some. Just see if those more accelerating base cars have a chance to shine, because we've had a little bit of a run of quick recently with Sebring, Watkins Glen. I mean, Sebring was a bit of an all-rounder, but Watkins Glen, Hakone especially, definitely suited those fast ones. You know, the more top speed based cars. But yeah, absolutely does. Cannot wait to see you next week. Hope you enjoyed today. And yeah, I think any final points, Connor? Anything you?
Ooh, well, not much that really springs to mind, to be honest. It was another action-packed week, shall we say, an action-packed night, even, for a better term. Obviously, a big shame that nobody's been able to enjoy what we enjoyed with race 1, which we obviously do apologise and hope we don't have a repeat of that next week. But other than that, Steve, no, it's that's it from me, and looking forward to next week in Yas Marina.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next week at Yas Marina, absolutely. I think, yeah, I think it's just appreciate the racing we had tonight. We'll fix the errors for next week for race 1 especially. Cheers for everyone for joining us tonight. Hopefully, yeah, you enjoyed it and you joined us next week. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad everyone has been enjoying it so far. Keep an eye on the socials for, any news or anything that comes up, the standings when they are posted, etc. And yeah, we'll see you all soon. Thank you very much for joining me, and thank you, Connor, for joining me as well.
My pleasure. I'll see you next week, everyone.